All right, I just pulled out the can of food. I just put it in the trash, but let's take a look at this. This is the type I'm using. This is the dog that has come to me who can only eat this kind of food because of his struvite crystals. So I'm going to take this food that I just put out here on parchment paper, and I'm going to flatten it out, and I'm going to slice it up with a knife, and I will bring it back. I'll show you before I put it in the 350-degree oven what it looks like. So here's what it looks like. I just patted it down and made it into a rectangle. I'm going to use this knife now to cut it into pieces. So warning, when I do that, it's great, but when it bakes, they seem to like grow back together again. So when it comes out, I'm still going to have to separate the pieces. I'm going to see if I can do a better job. It's a little thinner this time, I'm hoping. I think the thinner, maybe the less growth back there is, but I find that, you know, if I don't cut it now, then I'm pretty sure it's going to have to be like put lots of blobs on the paper, which I'm not going to do. And if it's just one big piece, when it comes out, it's going to be way too hard to separate it without having a lot of crumbs. So I'll use this and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. All right, and here's what it looks like since I took the knife to it. If you have a pizza cutter, that might be faster. But I took some nice deep cuts all the way down to the pan, and I went back and forth. So hopefully that'll help. But that's what it looks like going into the oven. And ta-da! This is what it looks like raw into the oven. And we'll be back in, once the oven preheats, it'll probably be about 30 minutes. So this is actually one of my better ones. Look at how they separated instead of growing together. That's excellent. They separated. So I must have had it thin enough where they could separate. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to measure this so we can see how much we have to squish down the can of food to get it to separate. That's really good. I mean, that's good. Okay. Right, so I just brought this out. This is 1 foot. So that's exactly how long this is. Absolutely 1 foot. And then across, it's going to be 7 inches. So 1 by 7. 12 inches by 7 inches. So if you can smush down your can that small, you should be able to get this. Now, what do I do next? I'll show you. Okay, so very carefully, because this pan is hot. So I take my little, I don't know what substance this is. Is it rubber or something else? But this thing, my spatula, and then I just start going underneath and lifting up. See? Okay, I'm going to do this for the whole thing. I'm just very gentle with it. I did not turn this over. No, I did not turn this over while it was cooking. I did not. Okay, so give me a minute and I'll finish this and then I'll show you what I do next. Well, now that I know the secret dimensions and the time for my oven, your oven might be a little different. I don't really have to do the next step, which was what I was just doing. So these are pretty thin. But what I was doing, and if you're in that predicament where it's kind of wet underneath, I would rip off another piece of parchment. And you have to be careful because if the thing is hot, then you don't want to burn yourself. But I rip it off and I put it on top of this, and then I tie the end together, and then I just flip it over. And I might take the spatula and rub the upside down part to loosen it. but that would separate it, because you don't want to pull it apart if it's stuck. All right, God be with me. Okay, guess what just happened? I flipped it the wrong way, and one of them went behind my refrigerator. Not behind, but on the side. I can get it out, but here we go. So I'd like to get this off. You know, it's not going to be perfect. Nothing is. But you see, some of this still stays on. But now I got it upside down. And this is not hot because this is one that I haven't used yet. So I'm going to put this back inside to, I gotta remember this. I gotta remember which one's hot, which one's not. Put it back inside here. Woo! It's hot in there. And I'm going to pull the other one out and do the same thing once this pot up here cools down. But by George, this is working really well. Look at that. I mean, all the way under. So, okay, and then let's just go a little bit further here. I'm going to you know, that wouldn't be a bad idea, actually. Is just to dry the bottoms out anyway. I could flip it over because I want the bottoms to be, because they're wetter. I'm not, like, they're moist. I shouldn't say wet. But I could probably have just, oopsie, I should watch where the camera's pointing. See, I'm just going to do this, but it would be more efficient if I had done it my other way, putting that piece of parchment over and just flipping the whole thing upside down. Then everything, and then I would just take this piece off and everything would be hunky-dory dry. Yeah, but I'm just going to leave these upside down for a while so that they can dry. All right, but that's basically it. This came out really good. I won't even have to, so the other ones I did, I had to redo with the knife to get it all, because they grew together, and that's because they were too thick. But this is just the right size. Okay. So yeah, the last part, just please, if you don't want to do this bit by bit, then just flip it over. Okay, I don't know what side that is. Okay, but yeah, look how good they came out. Really nice. So they, so there might be a few pieces that need to be recut, but not as many as all the other ones. Real easy to cut them open. They're serrated enough and they grew apart enough that they come apart pretty easily. Okay, so there you go. That's the recipe. When you have a dog who is prohibited from eating any other food than that canned food that they come with, you know, if they've got any kind of issues, and you want to train them humanely. You've got to use food, and you can't just use glops of canned food. And honestly, the food that comes in the kibble form isn't enough to entice them to work. But the dogs love this. The one I'm training just really loves this food. In the beginning, like, I was just training him with all of this food, and he was like, I don't want the canned food now, I just want you to bake it. I'm like, listen, mister, you've got to eat your canned food too, because not every meal is going to be a lesson. So, all right, there you go. And they come out nice in nice squares. You know, it kind of looks like a bunchity bunch right now. Then what I do is of course I put them in the refrigerator. But I use them, you know, like I would say within a week. I wouldn't leave them in there longer than that. You could always put them in the freezer. If you make a massive amount, then you would put them in a freezer bag and then put them in a freezer and then take them out as needed. So, okay, alrighty. Hello. Okay, so this is not meant for you. I know you, oh, thank you for hitting your nose on my camera. I'm going to take this to the intended baby, which is so dark today because of the rain, but okay, can you sit? That's good. He likes that. Thank you for squeaking that toy. Good boy.